The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I mean. It's my scene, you know what
Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna. Welcome to or welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hook's Pirate Ship. I am the captain. You were not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly, but nobody's worthy of being the first mate. Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now today, I want to get on here and talk about dance moms. Y'all, I didn't even know that like Abby Lee Miller was trying to make a comeback or whatnot. This was just something that I randomly thought about because I follow quite a few of the dance mom girls because like dance moms was like my everything when I was like in middle and high school. Like I fell out with it when I was in high school, but for the most part I was like a dance mom stan when I was like in middle school and high school, mainly because I was like a really big into dancing. I was a dancer, I was a cheerleader, I was very active when it came to like, you know, like sports and whatnot. I was sporty is bad because I was bad at sport. I couldn't do shit with a ball. Like any sports that involved balls, I couldn't do it. But like I did cheerleading and I did dance. I could run. Like I was a pretty active kid, okay? And that was part of the reason why I got drawn into dance moms. And like part of the reason why I started watching dance moms so much is because like I could relate to that world because everybody that like did sports as a kid, dance is a sport, cheerleading is a sport. That is such a toxic ass community, okay? Especially for like a kid to be in. We were constantly being yelled at, screamed at, felt like we were being tortured when we were doing like exercises and all that shit. Like I can completely understand why a lot of people don't want to do sports anymore. Like at some point in their life because like the entire sports environment is just very negative. Because I remember I was talking about Tomo from Miraculous Ladybug and I was talking about I feel like her being in that negative sports environment for so long in her life is part of the reason why she's like so mean and nasty, because we see that like because of her daughter Kagami being in that negative like sports environment, that kind of like rubbed off on her. And you know, everybody talks about the stereotype of like cheerleaders and dancers and just girls being involved in sports being mean, but it's a very like hectic environment to be in. Like I would always get screamed and yelled at and being tortured and had shoes thrown at me, okay? Like this shit, like this is why a lot of people like fall out of not wanting to exercise and doing sports and whatnot. But when I was thinking about my own trauma of being like in this environment, I couldn't help but think about Kelly from Dance Moms, because the entire arc with Kelly and Abby really like fucked me up because I didn't even realize how sad it was, because a lot of it just came down to like, you know, jealousy and insecurity and basically Kelly not being what Abby wanted her to be. So let's give a little background on who Kelly is and who Abby is. Kelly basically is one of the dance moms in the show, and Abby Lee Miller is the owner of the dance company, who is a Menace 3 Society. I already made a whole video like 2 years ago where I was dragging Abby to hell and back because she was racist as fuck to numerous black children that were a part of her dance company. Like, oh, she did Nia so dirty. Don't get me started. She did Nakaya and her mama dirty. Like, Abby Lee Miller has a very big issue when it comes to being anti-black, and we need to talk about it. I'm tired of people dancing around the fact that Abby Lee Miller was in fact racist, and it's the fact that Abby legit went on up to it was what made it all fucking worse. She did Nia so dirty. Like, I completely completely understand why Nia says she don't want to watch Dance Moms no more, because so much of that show is just her being brutalized. And so much of it was just like, you know, it was racial towards her. Like, But moving on, the thing with Kelly, like I said, was one of the dance moms, and she was actually one of Abby's old dancers. So on the series, Kelly had two daughters that were a part of the Abby Lee Dance Company, Range Dance Productions. What even was the name of that company? Because some people said it was Range Dance Productions, some people said it was the Abby Lee Dance Company. Who fucking knows? But basically, she brought her daughters Brooke and Paige to dance at Abby's company, and I noticed that so much of Abby's anger towards Kelly was taken out on her daughters, because you guys would like to know why Abby had this resentment towards Kelly. It's because Kelly quit dance. Like, she wanted to go cheer. She wanted to go live a normal life. Like, the dance world is toxic, and I completely understand why she quit. Like, Kelly didn't want to be a professional dancer like Abby wanted her to be. Basically, Abby had this big ass, you know, grudge against Kelly because she didn't do what she wanted her to do with her life. And I felt as if Abby was trying to live through Kelly, because I felt like Kelly was kind of like what Abby wished she was. Because Abby, in my opinion, like I said, we're not going to sit here and talk shit about Abby's, like, you know, appearance or anything like that, because that's mean. We don't do that. If any of y'all leave fat phobic comments down below about Abby Lee Miller, you will get blocked. Okay, like, I don't do that shit over here, okay? But I feel like so much of why Abby was just so mean is because she wasn't confident in who she was. Because so many of the people that she would pick out for things and whatnot, I felt like so much of that was just like what Abby wished she looked like. And the thing about it is that I've seen old pictures of Abby. I've seen what she looked like when she was younger. And she was like, if she had, like, I remember it was something Maddie Perez had said, like 90% of life is confidence. I was like, Abby was a pretty woman. Like, she was pretty. Like, there was nothing wrong with her at all. But because of how mean and nasty she was on the inside, that just kind of ruined it all for her. And, like, I'm sorry, but being mean literally can fuck up your confidence, okay? I felt like because she wasn't comfortable with the way she looked, that's why she just got so mad when somebody that she wished she looked like ended up going off and doing something else. Because I understand, because for the longest, I didn't like what I looked like. I didn't like my brown skin. I didn't like my pointy kind of ears. I didn't like my hair. I didn't like how I had a little gut on my stomach or whatnot. Like, I used to not be confident. Like, if people be asking me, how did you get so confident to the way you are now? Baby, I was not always like this, okay? I had to learn to love myself and whatever the fuck. And I felt like that just kind of never happened with Abby Lee Miller. And it's just scary to see, because as the show continued to go on, she got worse. Like, she was always horrible to Kelly. Like, I low-key, like, Kelly kind of made me mad because she would bring her kids around that woman that treated her like ass. But moving on, some of the shit that she would say to Brooke and Paige, it was so obvious that Abby was jealous of them. And Abby was jealous of a lot of them kids there, okay? Like, she was either jealous of them or she wanted to be them. And she took that anger out differently, where, like, if one of the girls that she was jealous of, she would be nasty towards them. But if it were another girl that she wanted to be, she would be nicer towards them, basically because she knows that, like, their parent isn't gonna try them. And, like, that's how I felt with Maddie. She wanted to be Maddie, but because Melissa was, like, not difficult with Abby, that's why everything worked out a little bit better when it came to Abby projecting and living through Maddie. But when we had Brooke and Paige, Abby was more jealous of them. Like, she even had mentioned, what was that shit when she was like, you're skinny, you're pretty, you're blonde. Are you sure that there's somebody out there that doesn't hate you? And I was like, Abby, why would you say that to a child, like a literal child? But it would be so much weird ass shit like that Abby would say to Brooke and Paige, and it was just rooted in so much jealousy that she had for not just Kelly but also her daughters. Like, she was so fucking nasty to Brooke and Paige to the point where Paige ended up having like a panic attack. And I completely understand why Brooke didn't want to be there. Like, first of all, Brooke was not around no kids her own age, because Brooke was a lot older than the other girls. Like, she was about, like, it started off with Brooke being 13 and all the other girls, I'm pretty sure sure the oldest one was like 10 at the time period. Like, Brooke wanted to be around middle schoolers her age. Of course, that's why she geared more towards doing like, cheerleading or going to school events and things like that. Like, that's normal for somebody her age to be doing that. But Abby didn't seem to get that, because she would be like, no, you're supposed to be famous. You're supposed to be this and that and the third. And like, Abby, not everything is about fame. Not everything is about money. Not everything is about attention. Some people want to have a normal, quiet life, and that's okay. And that seemed like that's what Brooke wanted to do. And I personally don't think that Brooke hated dance. I felt like she just kind of hated the situation that she was in, because she was, she was always doing the little kitty dances. She was wearing the little kitty outfits and whatnot. She wasn't really around people her own age. She wasn't doing the dances with people her own age. Like, I completely understand why Brooke did not want to fucking be there. Like, I get it. Like, because I remember I would like look back and I'd be like, Brooke looked like she don't want to be there. And now, like, I was the same age as Brooke at the time. Like, I'm like a year younger than Brooke, I'm pretty sure. But at the time period, I was a little confused as to why she was like acting the way she did. But then when we actually got to see a little bit more of her, because in the earlier seasons of Dance Moms, like I'd say seasons 1 and 2 for the most part, season 3 is when we actually start to see more of the girls. We didn't really see much of the girls, but we really saw more of their mothers. Yeah, but when we actually got to learn more about the girls, like I said, Brooke was the one I was the closest to in age, and I think the second one I was closest to in age was Kalani, but I don't like Kalani no more because she Trumpy. But Nia was another one too, but Nia was like always my favorite because I was biased towards her because she was the only black girl. And I really liked Nakia, but for the most part, it took me a minute to like understand Brooke's frustration, because I understood what she was going through too, because I was so caught up with like cheerleading and dancing. I couldn't go do the shit that everybody else was doing. Like, because I didn't just do cheer and dance. I was also involved with like, theater and acting. All my friends would be like doing something else, another extracurricular activity, and I couldn't go because I was busy doing theater stuff, or I couldn't go to hang out with my friends on Friday because I had gymnastics and cheerleading and whatnot, or I couldn't go and hang out with my friends and do this because I had a dance rehearsal. Like, I actually did understand where Brooke was coming from with that frustration. But Abby, just like I said, Abby is selfish. Abby doesn't seem to care. She thinks she can have everything her way, like she thinks she's Usher. No, Abby, you can't have it your way. You cannot live through other people's children. All right? And like, it just really is disturbing to see how she just took so much of that grudge and anger out on Kelly towards her daughters. And I'm telling you, all those girls on Dance Moms, they got some kind of problem from this show, okay? That shit was traumatizing for me to watch, okay? I know them having to be in that environment traumatized them. Because no, like, the dance and cheer environment, it is brutal, okay? It is brutal, okay? It fucked me up so bad. Like, yeah, I did learn a lot of good things from cheerleading because, like I said, it did help me a lot with being loud. Like, I'm loud as hell. I know you can hear that. I know some of y'all be telling me y'all be having to turn down the volume on your devices when you're watching me. But I hated being told, you need to speak up. We can't hear you. Speak up, speak up. I hated that shit. So that's part of the reason like why I'm so loud. I am thankful for that, making me better with the way I speak. I am also very thankful for like, the environment showing me how tough the world can actually be and whatever the fuck. I am very thankful for the exercise that this environment put me in, because my ass was fit. But also this shit gave me a eating disorder, okay? I legit had sports anorexia. All right. And I can see, because I remember Chloe from Dance Moms had recently even talked about how she was dealing with the eating disorder. And this is the thing that a lot of like cheerleaders and dancers and just people that are involved in performing, this is something that a lot of us deal with. Like, I didn't even want to own up to the fact that I had sports anorexia. Like, I did not. Like, yeah, I was in the best shape of my life, but also I had so much body dysmorphia. It was bad. It was actually very fucking terrible. And I remember Abby would try to make comments about the girls' bodies and shit like that. And I'm like, no, Abby, these are children. Don't say that. You cannot say that. Like, the sports environment is just so damn toxic, and it needs to change because it's important for us to be doing things like this, like cheerleading and dancing, acting, all of that stuff. That stuff is important, but we also need to be a lot more kinder to the people that are involved in it. Like, I see most definitely why Kelly wanted to quit, and I completely understand why Brooke was ready to get the fuck up out of there, because she had been dealing with that since she was like so young. And I remember I was talking to one of my friends one time, and she was telling me about how she wasn't gonna come back to cheer camp the next year, and I was sad because it was like a tradition of like me and my friends, we always would go to cheer camp together because we was always around each other at the damn gym. But a lot of them were like, I just don't want to spend my whole time Sumter getting yelled at. And I was like, I completely understand that because it's very taxing on you and it's very hurtful. Like, I fucking hate when people yell in general. Like, I don't like when people yell at me. Like, I got yelled at so much, and that's part of the reason why I like had like such a hard time like speaking up for myself or whatnot, because anytime I would try to speak up for myself or stand up for myself, I would get fucking screamed at. Like, there's just so many things, like, from that era that still fuck me up till today. But it really hurt my confidence a lot. Like, it may have made me loud as hell, but it really hurt me a lot with my confidence. It hurt me a lot when it comes to the way my body looked. It hurt me a lot when it came to the way I wear my hair. Like, that environment is just very toxic, and it's just very brutal. And part of the reason why I and many other people that were involved in these kind of extracurricular activities, either within or outside of school, part of the reason why so many of us were drawn to this series is because we could relate to it. We could see ourselves in this situation, because I remember I would talk to like some people at my school like about dance moms, and they would be talking about how mean it is and this and that and the third, but then I would talk to other people that were involved with like cheer and dance, and we were like, this is normal. Like, y'all really traumatized by that? Like, we was over here like judging them like, you really scared by dance moms. That's nothing. But we should not have had to deal with that. That's so sad how we were like so desensitized to it. Like, we were so used to getting yelled at all the damn time. We were so used to having to do frog jumps and, you know, all those crazy ass exercises if we fucked up and did something wrong. We were always used to having to run extra laps if we end up doing something wrong just in general. We had to do handstands on the wall and we held them for 5 minutes. We had to do 100 back handsprings in a row and do them until we passed out. Like, this environment sucks. And I completely understand why so many people don't want to do it. Because I remember Brooke wanted to do like school cheerleading, and compared to like competitive dance and all of that shit, it's completely different. But I noticed like in the recent years, I've noticed that like school dance and school cheer has become about the same as like competitive dancing, and it has been leading a lot of people to like wanting to quit and whatnot. Because I remember there was this one girl that went to my high school. Y'all, this was so big that it made it on the news. It was so sad. And I remember this shit happened literally like a week or two after Cameron Boyce died. So I was already sad as hell about this. And then this shit happened. But basically, it was a dancer from my high school. She was like tired because they were having like conditioning training for like the dancers and whatnot. That girl, baby girl, was exhausted. Baby girl needed a break. She was tired, okay? She was like, from what I heard of it, she was like a hard worker, got good grades, very smart, always, you know, busy and whatnot. But basically, she needed a break at like, you know, dance practice, and she didn't get it, and she ended up losing her life. And people don't seem to realize how like so serious that this is, because I remember there would be plenty of times when I would be in this environment and I couldn't breathe. Like, I legit could not breathe. I would be crying over here because I legit felt like I was about to die right there in the moment. And so many other people can relate to this, and I feel that too, because I remember I used to watch cheerleaders on Awesomeness TV. If y'all watch Cheer on Netflix, you may recognize I don't know if a lot of them are in it, but I know like one of them from that show was in there too. And the cheerleaders really just kind of shows you how good, but also how toxic this environment is. Because like on Dance Moms, we did see how like the girls had like a community and how the girls loved each other and all of this, and they had like so much fun with one another when it came to you know, what dance did for them. But then you also have to think of all the hardships that shit brought on them too, and that's how it was with cheerleading, the cheerleaders on Awesomeness TV, because a lot of people didn't want to be there. They would be talking about how much they hate it and how much they can't do it. because everything just like felt like it was too much for them, because they felt like they had to be perfect for cheerleading and dance, but then they also had to be perfect in school or whatnot, because if they got bad grades, they couldn't cheer or they couldn't dance. But the reason why I'm getting bad grades is because I'm dedicating all my time to this shit. Like, what? It's just very fucking weird how we just kind of normalize being awful in the sports environment. Because I can't, like, that's part of the reason why I don't ever be in the gym when people be having their personal trainers in there with them, because they be talking to them like they straight up ass crack, and I just can't do it because it be giving me war flashbacks. Like, I can't do it. I cannot do it. It's just really sad to see, okay? Because I noticed that like a lot of the Dance Mom girls don't really dance anymore. They like do other things, but like dancing is just kind of not their priority. And I noticed a lot of people that I knew growing up, like everybody know me, I don't cheer and I don't dance no more. Mainly because that environment was just too toxic for me, and it made me outgrow it. Because I would just be going to dance class, I'd be going to rehearsal and all this, and I'm just like, I'm tired of being screamed at, I'm tired of being yelled at, and I feel like I'm not having fun with it anymore. Like, this was just supposed to be something cutesy and fun for me, and I'm just not enjoying it. Like, if I want to dance, I'll dance by myself in my house, not really expecting much from it, not expecting a career out of it or anything like that. It's just really sad to see how so many people just kind of fell out with this, and so many of us watch Dance Moms, and we completely understand it, because I know some people were talking about, I'm sad that the girl on Dance Moms don't dance anymore, this and that and third, and I was like, baby, they have a negative relationship with that shit. Like, I completely get why they don't want nothing to do with it. All right, but we are going on 20 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really just wanted to get on here and chit chat. I want to get back to just doing more unscripted chit chats with you guys like I used to do. Because like it's just a lot less stressful for me. But I noticed y'all in the comment section would be like a little bit more engaged with me if it's like an unscripted video, because I'm already doing that with like my miraculous season 5 videos that I have to make sure I get one out this week. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Use code HOTSPOT30 for 30% off your order. The Shigo set that y'all have been asking me about, available for pre-order on my website, harriyannahook.com. Like I said, the Shigo set is there. My books, My Lady Perfecty, which is the perfect book, the picture book, and then also my novella, You're Not Crucial, are both there for digital copy. Pre-order for the physical copy of My Lady Perfecty. I will get the physical copies of You're Not Crucial back as soon as I can get them, y'all. Like, just give me a break. It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute to get them back in stock, but they're gonna be back in stock before Black Friday, okay? All right, make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram for my store, which is harriyannahook. My regular Instagram is just Harriyanna, but if you want to follow my store updates and all of that shit, harriyannahook is that the one. And also that's the one I post like all my event stuff and all of that jazz. So make sure you guys are following that. Make sure you follow Harry Hookup, because that's my spam account. It means like, you know, homie hookup. I call it Harry Hookup because I'm Harry. Anyway, last but not least, just follow me on everything at Harriyanna. Also, I'll be at Anime Weekend Atlanta this weekend. This video may go up while I'm already there, but yeah, if you see me, stop by. I'm nice. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARRIYANNA. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a comment down below about how you feel about Abby trying to make a return. But thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.
girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup fight villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their ruts. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.